Alright, how's it going, everybody? I'm just gonna ask you to subscribe right now before you forget. So I had you guys vote for which one of these stories that you wanted to hear, and obviously 64% of you voted for the virginity story. And those numbers are scarily accurate to how many people want to keep watching the Minecraft Let's Play. Meaning that there's over 150 people who in their heads are thinking, you know, I want to know how the person who has a Minecraft Let's Play lost their virginity. Which, I mean, mad respect, I understand. Everyone wants to hear a story about getting down and dirty, and that's exactly what we're gonna do today. But before I start the story, I just want to say that this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Just kidding, it's not. So many years ago, young NoneSoup was having a party with a few friends. It was spring break, it was beautiful outside, and we had all just entered our stoner period of life. The parents were out of town, and we were all about to get really baked. Now keep in mind that we are about 10 to 12 people deep at this party at a minimum. And I was chilling with my girlfriend at the time, who we're just gonna call Captain Steve. Now Captain Steve and I have been dating for like 3-4 months at this point. And you know, we were getting pretty comfortable with each other, it was alright. But a big group of us decided to go outside and go out to the shed that was in the backyard. This was our original smoking spot. As a matter of fact, I have a picture from this day that someone drew of me lighting a bong in this shed. A very large majority of us went out to that shed and we got blasted, chopped, gone, absolutely zooted, just bamboozled out of our minds. And like I said earlier, this was like the start to our stoner period. Like we were just getting used to smoking. So as you'd expect, I was extremely high. And as we're walking back to the house, Captain Steve pulls me aside and goes, "Do you want to bang in the shed?" And you know, me being a teenager at the time, I'm like, that sounds amazing. But then I realized how much splinters on my ass cheeks would hurt, especially when I was as high as I was. I just was not about it. It was not a good situation. But Captain Steve insisted, and I'm just like, no, I can't do it today. Today's not the day I want to make this moment special. And right as I'm saying, no, I'm not ready to do this, I don't want to be a part of it today, the host of the party got a call from his aunt. And my high ass was trying to hear in on the conversation, and I heard 5. And when I heard the number 5, I immediately thought 5 minutes. She was gonna be there to check on the house in 5 minutes. I ran upstairs where everyone was extremely just high as a kite. And I just yelled, "Get the fuck out of the house. She's gonna be home in 5 minutes." And I ran downstairs and I just started hiding things everywhere. And everyone's putting their shoes on and walking right out the front door. And the host of the party goes, "What the hell are you guys doing?" And I'm like, "She's gonna be home in 5 minutes. We gotta dip, bro." And he goes, "No, she said she's gonna be home at 5. It's 1:30 in the afternoon." And at that point, we all lost our shit hysterically laughing because, well... But as we all went downstairs, Captain Steve insisted that something's gotta happen this day. So we're laying on this mattress, under a blanket, in front of everyone while we're watching a TV show. We just had Family Guy playing, everyone's sitting on the couch on the floor, and we're in a mattress, smack dead in the center of everybody. And under a very thin blanket, mind you, I'm getting a hand job while I'm high as a kite. Now, not only was this hand job uncomfortable, the only thing in between 10 people and the view of my penis is a very thin blanket. But 4:30 rolls around, we all dip out, and then I get a phone call later this afternoon from the host of the party saying, "Why is there 3 Costco-sized pizzas missing and a box of mashed potatoes in the dish cupboard?" Because if you remember, I got very high and scared when I thought someone was going to be home in 5 minutes, so I hid everything. And I believe that he told me his excuse to there being 3 pizzas missing. Mind you, Costco pizzas that are 3 times the size of normal pizzas. His excuse was, and I quote, "I was hungry." And we still to this day have not gotten caught. But anyways, a couple months later, this is where the real event goes down. So me and Captain Steve were chilling out one day, just having a great time. And we wanted to do something cute this day. We wanted to do something special. So we got a couple close friends of mine by the names of Rye Guy and Patricia that I totally just made up on the spot. And we decided to go on a double date. We couldn't really decide where though. We're sitting there like, hey, we could go to a restaurant, we could go to a movie theater, and then we ended up deciding to go to a drive-in. Now at the point in time of deciding that we wanted to go to a drive-in, I had absolutely zero idea what anyone's intentions were that night. So I had no idea what was in store. We pull up to the drive-in in this white minivan. The sun's shining, it's beautiful outside. I've never been to a drive-in before. I thought, okay, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be a cute double date, great night. I can't wait. So we set up station, we pop open the trunk, we throw the seats down, we get all the blankets back there, we go grab some snacks. And quote-unquote Patricia hands me a condom. And I thought that it was just a gag joke. No pun intended. So I just put down the condom, I started laughing, I looked at Captain Steve, and out of nowhere, my nose starts bleeding. Just like profusely fucking pouring blood. And as I'm running to the bathroom at this drive-in, I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'm really sinning today. Am I dating the devil? What's going on here? And as I'm pouring blood into the sink at the drive-in, people are just walking right by casually, like nothing's going on. I'm like, hey, how's it going? About to get laid today. How's the popcorn here? Have you ever had sex at a movie theater? Because I was starting to realize, you know, these people were pretty serious about this. I feel like something's actually gonna happen. So after making about 8 or 9 grown men really concerned, I come back mad. And I'm pretty sure most of you know how the drive-in works. It's like 3 movies usually. It's like 5 hours worth of material. But the sun's going down, the vibe is setting. There's some advertisements playing on the movie screen. And we turn on the sound system because you can hook it up so that the sound of the movie plays through your car radio. And by the time that we figured out the radio, the movie was just starting. And that's when Rye Guy and Patricia put a blanket in the middle of the minivan and then close the trunk. And what I mean by putting a blanket in the middle of the minivan is not just gently laying it down. No, you know those handles that your mom holds onto when you're driving for the first time? They tied this blanket up through the middle. So me and Captain Steve were on one half of the minivan, and Rye Guy and Patricia were on the other half of the minivan. Completely separated. We had our own section now. And we were only 2 feet away. And I look at Captain Steve and I go, what the fuck did you guys plan? And a couple minutes pass by, and I just start feeling the van move back and forth very slightly. And that's when I realized these homies were boning, literally 2 feet in front of us with nothing to protect us but a singular bed sheet. Now, I don't know if you've been to a drive-in before, but on each side of you, there's a car about 4 to 6 feet away from you. And I said, okay, let's get some competition going. If we're gonna play risky, we're gonna play risky. And at that moment, in my head, I thought, this will be an amazing story. So we started making out. I got hard. My nose starts bleeding again. Not nearly as bad, but I can feel the blood pouring out of my nose. And that's the moment I realized, yep, I'm trying to have sex with the devil right now, apparently. Please forgive me for my sins. So I had to run to the bathroom. I had to take a piss at the same time. So my erection was no longer than 6 inches. Now at this point, I'm nervous. Like, I want to be able to perform. I want to make this an exciting experience. So I came back, did a little bit of smoochy, and I finally got hard again. And in an attempt to be sexy, she tried to put the condom on with her mouth, right? I don't know if you've ever gotten your dick sucked with a condom. It's the worst experience of your life. If I could compare it to something, it's literally like watching Family Guy without Peter Griffin or Stewie. And I mean it when I say it's literally just a horrible experience. Like, you're thinking like, oh yes, this is about to happen, and then it happens and you're like, damn, that was the biggest letdown of my entire life. And after a few minutes of struggling, we finally popped it in. Now, it was in the middle of having sex that I realized none of the windows were covered whatsoever. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a window before, but they're very transparent. You can see right through them. And the first time that I actually realized it, I looked out the window to see a 5-year-old kid looking directly into my fucking eyes. And I couldn't say anything about it. Like, I'm losing my virginity right now. This is crazy. So I just keep going. And I realized how inconvenient it was that I think about every 5 to 10 seconds someone walked by. I mean, they probably saw my bare ass cheeks. Like, I honestly think that I mentally scarred like 5 to 10 kids that day. But it didn't matter because I was having a great time. After a solid minute and a half of hustling and tussling, I busted my first non-virgin nut. And let me explain to you what it was like. Let's just say that you bought like a stack of Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell, right? And they actually put an adequate amount of like taco meat on it. That's what that felt like. Not the sex. Just how satisfying the story is. The fact that one day I'm gonna be able to explain to my grandkids that I had sex to the sound of Wonder Woman fiercely beating the shit out of people, while at least 25 people were watching this van sway back and forth, while mentally scarring young kids. There's nothing better than that. And after we cleaned everything up, popped the blanket back down, realizing that my friends were 3 feet away from us this entire time, could you imagine losing your virginity 3 feet away from one of your friends? But anyhow, after we cleaned everything up, Captain Steve got a text from someone who I'm just gonna call Big Daddy Bertha, saying my drug dealer just screenshotted my address. The cops are coming. They're gonna take everything. He got busted. I flushed my 2 grams of weed down the toilet. They're gonna take my vape. I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Which at the time, considering our age, was a huge deal for some reason. And I mean, we were an hour away from Big Daddy Bertha's house, and we decided, okay, we should probably leave and go pick up that vape. So we left before the first movie even finished. I don't remember the plot of that movie whatsoever. Matter of fact, I don't even think I saw Wonder Woman once. So we get there, we grab the vape from Bertha's house, just to realize a week later that literally the cops didn't care. And it was only 2 grams of weed. Like, how much trouble do you think you're gonna get in? And we basically drove an hour to have mediocre sex and listen to Wonder Woman sounds. I mean, like, seriously, I couldn't even see the movie. I was in the middle section of the van with a blanket covering the entire back door, so I couldn't even see the damn movie. Like, at least my boy Rye could look at Wonder Woman while he was having sex, right? He could do whatever he wanted. He could fantasize. He could he could adventure in his mind. I was sitting there banging, looking at the white van's dirty ass carpet. That's all I could see, because you know, when you're in missionary position, you know that we're on a mission, and it's to get the task done right. And that's exactly what we did that day. Lost my virginity at a drive-in movie theater, you know? But basically, yeah, that's about that. I mean, if you guys have a cooler story, I want to hear it. I've only heard stories like, we did it in my bed. Like, nah, you gotta take that story by the balls. You gotta make it good. Speaking of balls, I'm gonna go hop in the shower and wash mine. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I want to thank you for 7.6 thousand subscribers. That's crazy. I want to thank Captain Steve for letting me tell the story. And just a couple of really quick updates. Number 1, and then number 2, we're working on a couple of Minecraft servers right now, and I plan to have those out before June. So if you're a part of the Discord server, you're 100% welcome to be involved in the server. It's going to be a community server. It's going to be a great time. I hope everyone swings on by. But if you want to see more stories like this one, drop a like. 100 likes and I'll do another story. And play the outro music. Bitch on my hip like a fanny pack. Sipping on lean till I'm handicapped. Riding around with your granny, yeah. I just need 28 Grammys, yeah. Give me a pack of that booth. Pull up my cup with a deuce. Pull up on her with it too. Jack, I can't cause I know that bitch loose.